On Friday, October 23rd, Peg and I headed over to the Pachowskis' house, where we met the Pachowskis, the Van Summerens, and Rex Livingood, and we all headed up to Door County. Renee driving the guys in his car, and Peggy driving the girls in ours. Our first stop again this year was Racine, Wisconsin and Larson's Bakery, where we picked up some Kringles and other goodies for the trip. When we hit Algoma, Wisconsin, we stopped at the Von Steele Winery, where we all decided once and for all their prices are too high. We stopped for lunch at the Stadium Diner, a place that we've stopped many times before. We really love it. After lunch, we stopped at our new favorite winery, the Door County Winery and Distillery. It's a nice place. We had all heard reports that Lake Michigan was up quite a bit, but we were really surprised when we got into Ephraim and saw that the lake was up between 15 and 18 inches. It's really nice to have it coming up. Once we got to Rowley's Bay Resort, the guys walked down to the lake to look for fish. We didn't see any, and the girls went up to the lodge to get us all checked in to Suite 16. Suite 16, in case you didn't know it, is the home that we stay in every year up in Door County. Suite 16 has three bedrooms, each one better than the next, and we rotate every year. It's always a thrill when you're the one with the best room. Eating Friday night dinner at the Northern Grill has been a long time tradition. They treated us very poorly there this year, and we vowed never to go back. There was a little mix up with one of the parts of the cottage not being as clean as it should, and they gave us free bakery to make up for it. Pretty nice. Saturday morning dawned overcast and gloomy and a little bit of rain. We had to make some decisions on what to do that day. The first decision we made was breakfast at the lodge, something that we can't usually do because the kitchen is closed this time of year. They had a large group in and had the kitchen open though, and it was quite a spread they put out for breakfast. Because of the rain, we decided that instead of the outdoor nature hikes that we usually take on Saturday, we were going to do something inside. So we drove down to Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin and the Maritime Museum. We've never been there before. We'll probably go back because it was really nice. As you can see, many of the displays were really nice. One of the really interesting things was in their workshop, there were some guys building a wooden boat. This glass ball is a little bit smaller than the one I found in the Tonkin Gulf in Vietnam. The featured exhibit was Sea Dogs, an exhibit about dogs that lived on U.S. Coast Guard ships during World War II. There was an exhibit about the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Peggy is standing by a life jacket from the Edmund Fitzgerald. While we were there, very interestingly, we met a friend of Mr. Edmund Fitzgerald. These stained glass windows were at the entrance to the museum. I thought they were very interesting. After the museum, we headed up to Uncle Tom's Candy Store in an old schoolhouse to buy some snacks. Oh boy, just what I need. Gills Rock on the northern tip of Door County is always a pretty place to stop and do some shopping. We usually take a long walk at the clearing, but because of the rain, all we did was go up into the visitor center and the gift shop and look around. They were having a class on wood carving, and I took a few pictures in there too. Saturday night dinner, as usual, was at the bowling alley in Sister Bay. They have a really nice supper club attached to the bowling alley. Sunday morning, quite unlike Saturday morning, dawned clear, sunny, and beautiful. Every year at this time, we see duck hunters out on Rowley's Bay. This year, we actually saw them bag a few. We spent a little time resting at Sweet 16 before heading out on Sunday morning, and we went outside and took our group photo too. After we got all done packing, we headed over to the lodge to check out and make our reservations for next year. Our first stop on the way home was at Sequest Orchard as usual to pick up some apples and apple cider and other goodies for at home. We always stop in a big mall in Egg Harbor to do some shopping. It's a nice place. For the last 4 or 5 years, we've seen these interesting mushrooms growing high up in a tree at the mall. We always take this beautiful drive down Lake Lane, which runs right along the Lake Michigan shoreline. Our last stop, as usual, was in Algoma again, at the Stadium Grill for lunch before getting on the highway and buzzing home. Well, that's the trip for this year. We're all looking forward to next year already. See you then.